Kettlebells Up Studio, I'm Lacey, and let's get started in today's 20-minute set where you will need one kettlebell to do a cardio complex and possibly a second kettlebell to do single arm swings a little heavier. You can use the same bell for everything, but if you're a more seasoned pro here and feeling really solid in your single arm swings, I want you to grab a bell that feels challenging for you for 7 reps in 45 seconds. Our intervals today are on the 45s, and we have 5 rounds of these 3 things. So single arm swings each side and this complex. I'm gonna show you the complex after we finish this little mini warm up, and then we'll get nice and sweaty in today's cardio focus session. So perhaps the most awkward movement in warm up history, we're going for some hip circles. So you're gonna go wide legs, and you're just gonna start by sticking your hip to the side, sticking your booty out to the side, sticking your booty back, roll and forward. You gotta really shoot your hips forward here, and then do it again. So you can go as fast or slow as you want here. We're gonna switch directions in about 15 seconds. And if you feel a tight spot, just kind of get in there a little. I highly suggest you do not arch your back and try to do the limbo in this one. You want to think of booty tight and keep your core engaged. So you've heard that a million times from me. Let's go ahead, switch your side, but we don't want to be flaring our rib cage out. We don't want to be arching our back, rounding our back too much, just keeping a really nice tight cylinder right here so we can manage pressure and keep all of the weight-bearing stuff that we're doing out of our low back, out of our joints, making us feel really good throughout this stuff. It might seem like we've been hip circling forever. We're almost done with this. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. Readjust your shorts and let's grab onto your kettlebell. You're gonna bring it up to your side and then behind your back. We're gonna take a weighted good morning here for about the next 45, 50 seconds. Feet should be under your hips. You're just gonna stick your butt back like we did in the previous class in this program for Romanian deadlifts, letting yourself sort of resist against this weight. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings, and we're gonna start warming up our hinge position because guess what? We're doing explosive hinging today. And pretty much most of our work, our complex today has a hang clean to start. You have a push press in there. You've got a hinge row in there today, so a little bit of pull and a squat to press. So it's kind of a juicy one. This should be nice and sweaty. That one, you want to base your weight on what you can push press comfortably. So that will be your determinant. If this weight feels a little too light or a little too heavy for that, just make sure that you make that adjustment before we start. And we're gonna be in this one another 10 seconds before we go into a 90-degree goblet clean. So we're gonna think of goblet cleaning this light bell kind of like to the height of our face. We'll go 3, 2, go ahead, set it down. And we're just gonna shake it out for a second. You're gonna step over your bell, and we're gonna goblet clean it, but catch it way up here. So we really wanna try to launch that thing up. You gotta use your hips, you gotta push your feet down. Let's go ahead, try it out. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. So I come into that hinge, but with a vertical chest. I'm thinking nice and weightless. If your heels come off the floor because you are thrusting so hard here, that gets a little bit of bonus points in this one. And you don't want your elbows flailing about like a weirdo like this. So if you're getting up there, I mean, that was kind of mean, but if you're getting up there with your elbows out, you're doing one of those CrossFit high pull things. We're not doing that today. This is elbows tucked in. You want to think of landing at 90. So we're literally doing this, not this, this, not this. If you have flailing elbows, the weight's probably going to go in there and your joints are not going to feel great if you do that repetitively. Give me 1 or 2 more of these cleans. Use your booty to lift and imagine jumping through the floor. You've got 3, 2, and 1. Bells come down and start making those adjustments. Grab the equipment that you need based on what I alluded to. And we're gonna practice this little complex once before we get started in our complex today. We are going to think squat to press, followed by a push press, followed by a hinge row. We start with a hang position. So the bell is going to come up off the floor, and we're just gonna elevate it a little bit, holding our hinge. So a nice strong position with my shoulders and my hips. I'm going to thrust catch, then take a squat to a press, pull it down, bend, push, in a push press, drop it back, row it, set it down. That is 1 rep of everything. That is all you need to do in 45 seconds. We're gonna do both sides in that whole thing every 45. And then the second 2, or I guess the 3rd and 4th intervals of 45, you have your single arm swings. We're gonna go through all of this 5 times. You're gonna get 5 sets of single arm swings, left and right, total of 35 reps each side, and then you're gonna get 5 reps each side of this thing. So just choose your weight wisely here. If you want to make an adjustment, I'm going to give you just about 20 seconds until we start from this point. You can also practice a round of that if you want to. Remember, hang clean, squat to press, push press, and hinge row. You might just practice the push press if you need to. We should be pretty well versed in push presses by now, I think though. So let's go ahead and get it popping, guys. We're gonna go 45 seconds. So go ahead, bring your bell up into your hang position in 3, 2, and 1. So we stand, hang, clean, squat, press, pull, bend, push, pull down, hinge and catch, row wrist to hip, set it down. So that whole thing took me just about 15 seconds with a light weight. I probably would go 2 bells up from this 12 kilo if I was really doing this for a training session versus just teaching this today. So just keep that in mind. There's no pressure to go heavy here. Remember, I want you to be moving with your weight, but it is possible if this felt too light that you're not gonna get enough out of this. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and hit this one on your other side. 3, 2, and 1. So we stand, hang clean, squat to press, pull down, bend, push, pull down, hinge, drop into position, row. You could, if you're feeling good, go hang to that squat to press. So hang, clean, squat to press. You can combine those 3 things. That is an option if you're feeling a little more advanced. When we get into our next set in the next 15 seconds, you're gonna give me 7 single arm swings, and ideally, these will feel kind of heavy for you. If you have access to a few different weights, go for it. Let's hit your first side in 3, 2, and 1. Weight comes down when you are ready to rest. We have 30 seconds from here. One of the things that I see often in single arm swings that I think everyone can improve upon is trying to make these as fast as possible. This is not something where you want to just kind of go through the motion. So I want you to try to really make that bell pop up and give it everything you have. These are not the things to be shy about. You want to bring your full self to your single arm swings, your full thrust into them. So keep that in mind as we do this next set. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. So sometimes I see this when I really want to see. So notice the difference going through the motions or really giving it that pop at the top. And it really is just a little bit faster of a hip thrust. Okay, 15 seconds. We're gonna go into our second round of 5. You're gonna go back to the beginning with that hang clean complex here. 15 seconds. I'm gonna give you just a little break before we go into round 2 of this one. Okay, stand over the top of your bell. I'm gonna try that hang clean to squat. Maybe you try it with me. Let's see how it goes. Clock is on here. 3, 2, and 1. So I stand, drop to my hang. This would be a hang clean squat to press. Pull it down, bend, push, pull it down, drop into that hinge catch, row to the hip, and then bend to set it down. Don't let the bell pull you down once you get into that row position. Rest here, breathe here just a little bit, shake it out, roll your wrists around a little. You have 15 seconds until we get into the next side. This is a nice one to just keep us moving, keep us flowing, keep the blood flowing here, and a good way to get cardio if you don't want to go for a walk or be on a Stairmaster or go for a run. Let's get your second side. Clock is on here. 3, 2, and 1. I like to face my palm back on the hang clean in this position, and then kind of shift under it and turn it as I go up. All of these movements can honestly be pretty robotic. You don't have to flow through them. If you want to go hang clean, squat, stand, press, come down, push press, pull it down, row, you can do that. I weirdly had a flashback, like I sound like a dance instructor right there, which is not what I meant to do, but I digress. Okay, we're gonna get popping for single arm swings. Let's go into your first side in 3, 2, and 1. Bell comes down, we take our little break here. So in this one right now, we have just under 30 seconds left before we go into it. A really great way to get better at snatching is actually to single arm swing more and to single arm swing with a little bit of a heavier weight more often. Go ahead, come behind your bell. You have 15 seconds until we get into our second arm, and then we just have 3 more rounds. Let's go 3. Well, I lied, you have a little longer. We'll go 3 from here, 2, and 1. Hips go back. Speaking of heavy bells, a common question is, how do you know when your bell is the right size? Especially something like single arm swinging. It can be a challenge sometimes to figure out what feels heavy. So I would say practice with a couple bells. You want to make sure in this case that you can definitely hold on to it. Like it's not pulling you forward or you're having to muscle it too much to lift it. You should get a strong grip on it. We have about 5 seconds here. We're going to go into our next sequence on your first side. This is your third round. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. So I would say you're just going to have to experiment with a few weights to see what feels good for you in your single arm swing, because if you do want to go heavy, the grip can be a factor. And usually you'll notice right away if the bell's pulling you at the shoulder or at the core, you've got some more work to do with just holding your bell and going in motion. So sometimes we are physically stuck by the bell that we can hold, and that's just part of kettlebell training. So I would say have a bell that you can swing heavy for 3 to 5 reps. Let's go ahead, hit your other side. Clock is on here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I come down, stand, hang, clean, squat, press, pull down, bend, push, pull down, hinge, row. So a bell that you can swing for 3 reps, it feels heavy, to 5 reps, is sort of your practice bell at that heavier weight. That's not your everyday bell. Your everyday bell is something you can really make pop for 10 reps, kind of like what we're doing close to here. So you can start going between those heavy bells and that lighter bell and just peppering in some heavier reps until you really feel like you're getting better at it. It's a good way to get accustomed to that heavier bell. Let's hit your first side single arm swings, finishing up round 3 in 3, 2, and 1. You will notice, I have to say right away, when your bell feels like it's a little too light, because you might not feel like you've had to work for it as much. Like right now I'm swinging a 12 kilo, which is way too light for me. Again, I'd probably be doing this if I was doing it on my own with a 16 kilo. I can swing it appropriately, but I could do a lot of reps with this and not get fatigued. You want to feel something in your swing. You want to feel a little resistance. So just keep that in mind when you're picking your weight as well. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. Well, hello. Nope, we're not going to bark. We're going to edit you out. Find your stuff. Good, guys, keep going. I missed my last 4 swings. So you guys have about 30 seconds here until you finish your set, and the puppy's been making some appearances. I'm filming these classes like when I don't have childcare. So seems like you guys are okay with that, but, and by childcare I mean my dog care, because she wants to play. You guys are gonna be starting on your 4th round of 5 in less than 10 seconds. So let's get started for those hang cleans. We're gonna come into position over our bell in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I mean, sometimes, I guess those of you that have had a puppy in your life, maybe currently have one, maybe have a child. I know that they're not the same, but something that is loud and wants your attention, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, but we're not gonna let that ruin our flow, right? We're gonna keep going through this. So right now, you guys have less than 15 seconds until we get into it. Less than 15 seconds, we're gonna hit your other side. Let's go ahead and make sure that your belt is down and we are ready to go into our next set, finishing out round 4 of 5. Clock is on here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna stand, hang, catch, squat, press, down, bend, push, pull it down, hips go back, we row, we set it down. Very good, guys. You have just about 30 seconds to take your rest here, so use it before we go into our single arm swing. 30 seconds, shake it out. You have one more round of everything. Final set of our single arm swing, so go ahead and bring your bell in front of you, stand behind it, make that strong triangle with your feet, and this time bring some awareness to that back arm. I want you to be reaching it back as strong and powerful as you possibly can for these sets of swings. Let's go ahead and bring our hands on our bell. Clock is on here. 3, 2, and 1. Something I like to do sometimes is actually have the bell hand and my other hand kind of line up. I don't know what it is. It almost reminds me of like lining up target practice. Maybe that helps for you. Think about as you come up here, your punching hand kind of being in your peripheral vision of the bell, and see if you like that. 15 seconds, we're gonna hit your other side, then we're gonna do the whole thing one more time, and then you guys are done with today's 20-minute cardio set with puppy interruptions. Apologies again for all the puppy interruptions, such as life right now. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bell comes down, take your break. Whew, 45 seconds. Oh my God. Sometimes these 45-second intervals fly by, sometimes they just scoot by, but you only have one more set of all of it left. In the next 20, we are going to start again with your hang clean sequence. I want these to feel really strong, really tight, the best ones you have done all day here. Even try that squat to press together if you still feel like it. Okay, here we go. Clock is on for your hang clean. In 3, 2, and 1. So up, down, we clean drop, squat press, pull it down. I almost hit myself in the face there. It happens sometimes. Don't overly use your bicep here. We're gonna try to really let that bell drop down in that position. 30 seconds to rest before we get to the other side. The heavy seconds are gonna go by really quick, so I want you to be ready to take on your second side and then finish out your swing strong. We have, again, enough time to work through this, so take these movements separately if you need to. And if you're feeling really good pushing into that hang clean squat and you can control it, I want you to finish out with that version. Let's go ahead and get after it, guys. Last set here. 3, 2, and 1. We stand, we hang. We might drop into the squat, finish with the press, pull it down, bend, push overhead, catch in the rack, drop, row, elbow, and wrist are in one nice line, and then we take a little break here, shake it out. I think this class actually might be titled with a pull in it. Maybe I'm wrong, I can't remember, but there's been minimal pulls. This is more like cardio, just so we're clear. We have 7 single arm swings left, 7 single arm swings each side, and you guys are done. If you wanna go full on through each side of your swing without stopping, you can be my guest here. You can cap this session off with a little pump at the end. 30 seconds is gonna go by really fast, and we are finishing up the final side of our complex. We are almost done, guys, and then you just have those single arm swings to the finish. Remember that if you have a little left in you and you wanna drop into that squat right away from your hang clean, I want you to go for it. So go ahead, step over your bell. Let's get started and ready to finish out this sequence really strong. Clock is on here. 3, 2, and 1. So we stand, hang, possibly drop into the squat, push, pull the bell down, bend, push overhead, pull it down again, control into that hinge, wrist to hip in our row, set our bell down. That section is done. You have 30 seconds here, and if you're feeling really good, I want you to try to combine your swings, as in 7, pass to the other hand, hit 7. If that feels okay for you. If you need to take the break, I'm gonna give you those full 45-second intervals to do these, but maybe finish with a little bit of, I don't know, something left in you, something that maybe you didn't think you had in you today. Okay, let's go ahead and go for it. First set of swings, 45 seconds is on in 3, 2, and 1. Bell comes down to the floor, just let it sit down there, and we will get into our second side. If you're switching sides, I want you to keep going and you can just end your video experience early. You can take a little break and rest. Everyone else, you have just about 20 seconds until we finish out our last 7 swings and finish out this 20-minute class together. Let's go ahead, roll the shoulders back, make these powerful. If you're joining me for them here, let's come down into our hinge position, hands on bells, clock is on 3, 2, and 1. After that 7th one, just let your hips drop with your bell. Guys, you did it. You are finished. Thank you for joining me for another 20-minute class today. I hope you had a really good time. A little power never hurt any of us. I feel like maybe you hopefully feel a little more powerful after that set today. And I will see you in your next class. Remember, get real, get strong, bells up. Bye.